Hello and welcome back to the Zillennial Support Group with Silvana and Marriya, 97 babies who talk about the nostalgia and trauma of the late 90s, early 2000s. Hello,
That was
Silvana.
beautiful. Hello, you forgot the word podcast in the intro.
Well, what else would they be listening? They think they know it's a podcast.
I
If
mean,
they're
it's on
listening,
YouTube. I don't know. I mean, I always say podcast.
okay, I'm sorry. Do you want me to take two?
No, that was beautiful. That was perfect.
Thank you.
So today or this week for this episode, we have just because we're not weekly.
Yeah.
Also, we're taking a break next week, just heads up. But or maybe not, I don't know. I haven't planned that ahead. Life is stressful. Anyways, on today's episode, we're talking about I feel like something somewhat of a quintessential Zillennial experience is being a part of uh, the supernatural Doctor Who Sherlock fandom on Tumblr within the years like 2011 to 2014. I feel like that was a very formative time in Zillennial's youth, and both me and Marriya have firsthand experience. She is wearing a supernatural shirt, and I'm wearing a Superwholock tank top I got at New York Comic Con.
Woo!
Street cred.
I have my Dean Winchester necklace.
I
That's
got
like,
it.
I don't know what it is.
I think
Really.
I got it in 2013. Did you order yours on the internet or where'd you get it? Where'd
I
you
think I
get
got
the
mine from Hot
bag?
Topic.
From Hot Topic? Oh my God.
And then I put the flannel
Classic.
on top because that feels like
Beautiful.
a supernatural thing.
Beautiful. Because a lot of people dress up for Comic Con, and I am not a costumes person.
Mhm.
Just, I don't know, something inside me, it just, instinctual guttural feeling is like, I can't not stay in reality. Um, but as a compromise, I just wore plaid to Comic Con, and that was
Mm.
my costume. And they were like supernatural. And I was like, yeah, that was all that I needed. Um, but yeah. Before we dive right in, just general updates. I painted the room that I'm currently in. I think I want to try and change my setup every single week,
Mhm.
just in a different room in a different area of
Can't
the United
figure,
States.
no one can figure you out, Silvana. They can't catch you that way.
Exactly, exactly. Also, I have two brand new, very visible zits on my face
Ooh,
today, and I wanted to go ahead and name them.
okay.
I think this one on my chin, I think her name's Marsha
Okay.
because
Welcome to the pod, Marsha.
she's just been holding on for like 2 weeks. She's finally flat and going away. And then this one, I'm thinking maybe like Wolfgang, really aggressive 1700s, 1800s musician name. Um, so moving on, Marriya, what was your experience like on Tumblr concerning the Superwholock fandom?
Um, I mean, I was very much like in it, but mainly on like the supernatural side. I don't think I got into Sherlock until like after. Like, I don't think I got into Sherlock until college.
Oh, oh,
Um,
that's actually pretty late. I feel
yeah.
like most
Um,
episodes had premiered by then. I actually never
mhm.
finished the series. They came out
Oh,
with
gotcha.
specials after the seasons. I never watched those. I also never saw the finales of any of these shows.
Yeah, I never
Doctor Who
watched
never
Doctor
ended,
Who.
but I stopped watching after uh, Matt Smith left, and then I
Mhm.
watched a few Peter Capaldi and Clara. Oh my God, what were they called? Companions. The
I thought
companion Claire. I saw a few of her episodes and then stopped watching. I know there's a female Doctor Who, but
you said Clara, and I thought to say Barton.
her name's Clara, right? Oh my God, if
I
I get
don't
that
know. I
wrong, I'll
don't
be
watch
sad.
this show. I was only
But
on the supernatural side, but I feel like I saw
yeah,
all the like
I started on
images
Supernatural though, and then
of
I
like.
went into Sherlock. I'm pretty
Mhm.
sure. Maybe it was vice versa.
I feel like Doctor Who. Like, I just saw like the like image of the moisturize me thing,
Oh,
and I was
yeah.
like,
The
no.
gifts were so good for all of those shows. They're very memeable,
Yeah.
but
I feel like reaction images or reaction gifts are
yeah,
over
that's
now.
how I got into Supernatural. I had a friend in high school who introduced me to Tumblr because she
Mhm.
was a part of mainly the Harry Potter fandom on there. And then I sort of like dipped my toe in the waters. And then I kept on seeing these supernatural gifs on every post that like weren't related to the TV show.
Mhm.
And my friend, who was like into Harry Potter and stuff, she was also into supernatural and sort of like introduced me to it.
Mhm.
And we experienced, I feel like, a lot of Tumblr fandoms together. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, Supernatural, I'm pretty sure started it off. But I feel like got into Sherlock around the same time. This was like my freshman year of high school in
Mhm.
2011,
Mhm.
10 years ago. I'm very old.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Never
I
thought
would
of
have,
that.
it's because September's coming up too. So I started high school like almost exactly 10 years ago, and
Oh
it's
my
kind of
god.
fucking me up mentally. I also painted my bedroom exactly 10 years ago, right before high school, and then I painted this
Wow.
one. Wow, what a world.
The
Anyways,
circle of life.
yeah. And then I'm pretty sure I got into Doctor Who separate from Tumblr.
Mhm.
Maybe, I have no idea, but I was definitely really into that TV show with Matt Smith and Amy Pond. I think I got into it through YouTube and actually through like Charlie So Cool, like Rosie, Rosie Anna Halls Rojas and John Green, like they kind of talked about Doctor Who, and so that's how I
Mhm.
got into it. And then I found out there was also people who blogged about it on Tumblr, and that sort of got incorporated. It
Gotcha.
wasn't until literally 2013 when I went to like a pre-college writing program
Mhm.
that I like found other kids who were like nerdy like me, and they were like, actually, people there a lot of people are involved in all three of those fandoms and share those interests, and they call it Superwholock to combine Supernatural, Doctor
Yeah.
Who, and Sherlock. And
Wait,
my
so
whole
you
mind
hadn't
was
heard
blown.
about that
So I
until
was like interested in those things and on Tumblr for 2
Mhm.
years before I learned the
Wow.
true terminology of the
How
culture I was a part
interesting.
of.
Yeah, I don't think like I think I heard about Supernatural from my friend in like middle school.
Middle school, yeah.
And it was like a thing where I don't know if I even like had Netflix. And
Oh,
so I like bought the like DVDs or whatever of like the first season at like Best Buy.
oh my God, TBT.
Um but yeah, it was I think the first season like kind of fucked me up a little bit because the first season's like the worst of Supernatural.
Yeah, it is.
It's
Yeah,
the
because I feel
scariest.
like they planned out the series in a certain way starting off, and then it just
Mhm.
sort of slowly turned into something else and like
Mhm.
changed tone a bit as they went on. Um, Actually, having this conversation, I just remembered that the friend who introduced me to Tumblr, I haven't returned her text in like a few weeks, and I need to text her back.
Do it.
So if you're listening, which I don't think you are, I'm sorry, and I will text you soon. But what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I remember the a friend I met through the same program I mentioned. I used her estranged father's Netflix password to get Netflix for the first time streaming. And so 2000 I got that in 2013, and that was how it opened like the doors to me getting into like properly watching from beginning to end
Mhm.
into the shows West Wing, Mad Men, and Supernatural. So 2013 was like a big year for those shows because
How
I'd seen
long?
them. I had cable, so I was watching Supernatural on CW, like reruns, but they weren't
Mhm.
in order. And
Yeah.
same thing with Mad Men on AMC. They were premiering, I think, the fifth season at that point. So I was watching it sort of out of order, and then the fifth season as it premiered. And then I fully like once I got Netflix, I was like fully like like in the waters of all these TV shows. I don't know. I was trying to remember a metaphor in my head, and then I couldn't place it.
How long did
But
you like use that account?
I think I lost that account. I got logged out
Oh no.
um senior year of high school, I
Oh
think.
wow.
And then by then I think I had convinced my parents to get a family account, and so
Mhm.
then it was okay. But so you said you bought DVDs or like rented out the DVDs?
I bought DVDs. I think I got my parents to
So
buy me DVDs.
did you like watch it on a TV or on your laptop? What was the experience like?
I think I watched it on the TV
Yeah.
because I don't know if my DVD player like on my laptop worked.
Mm,
I had a pretty old laptop.
yeah.
Um, yeah, because I remember like watching them on downstairs, and then like it was like the time where I think, like, my anxiety and depression were, like, starting to get bad, and I remember I couldn't sit through an entire episode. I had to, like,
Ooh,
pause and then, like,
I feel that.
walk for a bit or something, I don't know. It
That's
was just
so
like I lost
true.
interest very fast, but I was still
Yeah.
a dedicated fan.
For me, when it comes to like anxiety, it's not so much like interest, but like sometimes even if I like don't even like the show, if I'm not invested in the show, if I see a character making a bad decision, I like will, and like if I'm just like in a really anxious space, I'll like absorb their anxiety from their
Mhm.
situation, even though I know in my head it's not true. And I'll just have to like shut it off. Like I can't
You just
take
have to
even the
get some
idea
space.
of having an uncomfortable situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's interesting. I feel like that was like 2011 to 2013 was like I started getting really into certain TV shows during that time
Mhm.
period. Like also got really into Community and 30 Rock during those years as well. And I feel like those years was when I transitioned from like watching TV on TV to
Mhm.
watching TV almost exclusively on my laptop. Because now I like pretty much only watch TV on my laptop,
Same. Yeah.
except when I'm like watching the news with my mom
Yeah,
to
and
see the
it's,
weather
like,
report.
also, like, I very rarely, like, have, like, a physical DVD because like, now my laptop doesn't even have a DVD drive,
Yeah.
and so it's usually, like, we'll buy a DVD and then, like, it'll come with, like, the digital code, and then we'll just, like, completely forget about that
Oh,
the DVD
wow.
exists.
That's crazy.
Um
I didn't even know DVDs came with digital codes these days.
Mhm.
I know like vinyl records sometimes do. Wow. What a correlation.
Yeah.
I'm
Like,
pretty sure the last DVD I watched was in 2013 during that
yeah.
program. The head honcho basically of the program. We were like I don't know, we were just talking, and my roommate was really into like the 80s and 80s movies and John Hughes. And so she lent us her DVD of Pretty in Pink, I think.
Mm.
One of the John Hughes movies with Molly Ringwald. My roommate also really loved Molly Ringwald. And we watched it on my laptop because my laptop had a CD-ROM.
Oh, wow.
And that was the last time I watched a DVD, like
See?
ever.
I last watched a DVD, like, earlier this year, and it was Booksmart, which
Oh,
we saw in theaters
interesting.
together.
We did see in theaters together. That was a good movie. We
Yeah.
watched it like at like a premiere a week before it premiered nationwide too. It was
Mhm.
super weird.
Then we got
And
Five
cool.
Guys.
Yeah, that was a good
That
time.
was a good
Aw.
time. And we were, like, a
Um,
little bit late to the movie, but then I found the
Fair.
thing where it was,
Yeah.
like, the first 10 minutes of the movie was on YouTube as a
Yeah,
promo, so it all worked out.
that was amazing. And look where Olivia Wilde is now. Crazy. Look how different places we are in our lives.
Yeah.
All three of us. Me, you, and Olivia. What a threesome.
She's a
But
beautiful spot. But so
yeah.
going back to, like, Superwholock, so besides just watching the shows, how did you, like, engage as a fan?
Well, I wasn't really the type of person to like make content on Tumblr. I mostly like
Mhm.
liked and reblogged. I never reposted. If anybody was on Tumblr during that time, people who reposted were like
Trash.
shamed.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know how to repost things. But yeah, so it's like part of the Tumblr culture of that. But then once I met people in real life who like share that interest, we would talk about shows and stuff. And I'm pretty sure that was the time where all the shows were still on air as well.
Mhm.
Because I was also like the channels I watched like on an actual television were like the CW and like BBC America. Um, but so yeah, I would definitely like it was still a time in my life where I'd like watch TV at a specific time to like watch the premieres of episodes.
Mhm.
And like if you wanted to watch it online, you'd have to like wait a day for it to show up like
Mhm.
on the channel's website or something. So there still was that culture of like a new show premiering and then me like talking about it or like reading internet analysis about like what this episode means and like the mythology of the show and like ramifications or like hidden meanings or clues or Easter eggs. Easter eggs were a big thing on TV shows back
Yeah.
then too, which I think the idea of Easter eggs are sort of just like co-opted by the Taylor Swift community these days with her
Yeah.
making hints about her album releases. But so Easter eggs were a big thing. I'd watch like commentary videos on YouTube. I'd watch like analysis videos on YouTube. That got pretty cool. And I feel like that was the beginning of like deep analysis video essays on
Mhm.
YouTube as well, which I thought were really cool because they'd go into like video essays about different movies and TV shows a lot. And that really also made me fall in love with like media in general. Also, this time in television was like when I like started being like, oh, I think I want to write television as a career one day. And like that whole TV culture of the time period was like what made me feel that way. Mostly
Fire
Community and Mad
Silvana.
Men, but also I think the involvement of like fan culture and stuff like that, that really the idea of like media having that effect and creating cultural moments like that also like really was like sparked my inspiration and creativity that I was like, oh, I want to focus on that. And I didn't really know how to do that. And I still don't know how to do that. I am unemployed. So
I'm
haven't
Silvana
turned it
Smith
into a
on
career yet.
LinkedIn.
Yeah, yeah. It's happening.
That's
Slowly.
interesting. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like I might have just forgotten, but I feel like I always kind of like played catch up with Supernatural. I don't know if I
Oh yeah?
ever watched it.
Like as a
I might
premiere?
have watched it live, but then I feel like I fell back again and stopped watching it and then went back to it. And so I feel like I
Yeah.
mostly watched it on Netflix and not as much live. I might have
Mm.
watched it sometimes live. I really don't remember. I
I
just remember
think
mostly like the way I consumed it. I think that was like the first show that I like binge watched. I think that was like the
mm,
first thing where it's like I didn't watch something on TV and I could watch like 10 episodes in one sitting and scare the shit out
yeah.
of myself.
Yeah, because also I feel like getting that Netflix subscription or password, that was really like crossing the line into like, this is an interest I have, this is something I follow, to like, this is like a deep interest. I'm analyzing every episode, watching
Mhm.
from beginning to end
Yeah.
of a series. Like that's I feel like where the line was
Yeah.
like streaming opened that door for me. Um, but yeah, did you mostly like interact with other fans and stuff like with your friends in real life or like online stuff and Tumblr and things?
Um so a lot of my stuff was like reblogging. I would like occasionally get big on either like supernatural fan art um
Ooh, yeah.
or I would do crack videos. Do you know what crack videos
Oh my
are?
God, I remember crack videos.
It was
Those are
like
hilarious. I'd watch those too
yeah,
on
for
YouTube.
anyone who doesn't know crack videos, it's like basically you take a little scene and then you like add funny music or something that and it's just like makes a joke. And so I would do a lot of these little crack videos and even though I like release videos weekly or like every other week, my crack videos have like thousands of views.
Wait, so you
And
made crack videos
yeah,
as
I made
well?
crack videos
That's
and I don't have
amazing.
access to that account
You
anymore, like on
don't.
YouTube,
Do you
because
have
like
the file saved?
I think so, somewhere.
Oh, wow.
But
That's crazy.
and
I
like
feel like
I
parts
had
of our
small
friendship is just
clips.
me discovering that you're like low key famous on like weird
Oh.
small
Well, I didn't
ways.
even realize because I think I posted like 5 videos and then I stopped. And then like 5 years ago, I was like, "Oh, I wonder what happened to those." And there are like comments that are like, "This is my favorite video on the internet." And I'm like, "You could
Aw,
do better."
cute. Oh my God.
But like I had like some clips, because I think the big thing with Supernatural was like the Destiel kind of like
Yes. Okay, so there was a
casting.
huge ship culture
Mhm.
that really like was I was exposed to on Tumblr during that time for the first
Yeah.
time as
Yeah.
well. And
I don't think it was really a thing either
I
before.
still feel like I participate in ship culture in a healthy way and I don't get crazy or weird about it. Like, fictional characters and stuff.
Mhm.
But I feel like that's such an interesting part of TV fans of the time is like shipping was huge.
Yeah. And so I did like there's like that one scene where Dean is like um listen Cass, like I'm poison and then after that I put the music and slowed it down to Toxic by Britney Spears. Free Britney. Um,
Wait,
and
you have to send me the links to these videos. I'm pretty sure I probably have seen them before too and not known it was you.
yeah, so that was me.
Wow. We
Yeah,
met in 2012 though, right? This
maybe 2013 because I don't think we met until my sophomore year.
Oh, that's very interesting. So we
Yeah,
also met during this very
yeah.
formative
But I
time.
don't think we ever talked about it.
No, I don't think so.
No.
That's
So,
crazy.
yeah. We learn new things about each other every day. But I think
Yeah.
also, like, that was one of the appeal of Superwholock and, like, maybe I just didn't really have Tumblr before, but I feel like that was also the time when, like, media and content was also about, like, the celebrities and the stuff behind it, because I feel like
Oh,
everyone was obsessed with, like, Jensen Ackles and Misha
that's very
Collins and stuff,
true.
and I feel like that wasn't as big of a thing, and I think it's also, like, the rise of social media, like, you had, like,
Yeah.
Twitter and stuff, and so you could actually, like, interact and everything with celebrities, but I feel like that was also, like, a really big thing, and, um, I really wanted to go to Comic-Con, like, the
Oh
Supernatural
yeah.
Comic-Con, and my mom would never let me go because she was like, "I'm not gonna pay for 2 tickets for me to go with you, and then if you go alone, someone's gonna be like, 'Hey,
Yeah.
Jensen Ackles is in this room,' and then you're gonna go in, and they're gonna murder you."
Yeah.
And that's how she thought
Wow.
Comic-Cons would work, and she
I
thought I was a
mean,
dumbass.
is she wrong though?
Yes.
But that's crazy. I did go to New York Comic Con once.
I'm
I
so
met Felicia Day actually, who was on
wow.
Supernatural at the time. I feel like I started watching the episodes in order, uh, like as they premiered around season 9.
Mhm.
So I think that matches up time wise. I don't know. But
I
yeah, I
just
did meet Felicia Day. I said nothing. We just took a photo. I smiled. She smiled. And then we left.
I
I was
love
mostly there because my friend really wanted to do the meet and greet. And so I was like, okay, I'll go with you.
I
Because
just
doing a meet and greet alone sounds terrifying.
right?
But
I just thought of something very embarrassing.
okay.
You know how, like, in high school, we had, like, the senior photos? Because you
Mm,
had, like,
yeah.
the regular, like, yearbook photos, but then you would also have, like, things where you could, like, bring props and stuff.
I hated that. I did not do that. I
I
also left it
brought
out
so
of it.
many props. They're like, "We've never seen so many props," and I was like,
Wow.
"Whatever." Um,
Classic.
I, um
Oh no.
It was my profile picture for, like, a while, but it was,
Wow.
like, me drawing on, like, a picture of, like, Felicia Day. It was, like, my fan art, and that is how I posed for my senior photos.
Oh my God. Wow. But that's beautiful.
I just rem
You're really good at fan art though. You're an exceptional drawer. And also for my graduation present from high school, we met up at a yogurt shop once with the Lip Mag staff, and you guys gifted me a picture of Patrick, not Swayze,
The guy from
not Patrick Star.
just go through all the Patricks, not
Oh
Patrick
my God.
Warburton or
Not
whatever.
Pete Wentz.
Um,
Oh my God. I love Fall Out Boy. I'm sad that I don't remember his last name. But Patrick.
Patrick. Patrick from the
Stump. I knew it was like not Star, not Swayze, but something that felt like a mix. And that mix is Stump, Patrick Stump. If it's not, I think it is Patrick Stump.
Yeah, because I
Because
think
there
we were
used to be
going
an
to
H,
name
but now
our
there's no
Lit
H.
Mag Patrick Stump.
Yeah. But then most people on the Lit Mag signed it, which was nice. I
Yeah.
feel like some people forgot, but everybody was there. But yeah, you're a really good drawer. It's like very lifelike. I still have it framed. But um yeah, I feel like fan art was a big thing on Tumblr as well. Like it was
Mhm.
like the first major platform that I was a part of where like you could share art really
Yeah.
easily and like blog about it. And so like really cool gifts, like aesthetic was a really big thing.
But yeah, I feel like um we had you had Archive of Our Own,
Mm,
fanfiction.net, Wattpad,
yeah, Wattpad was
Deviant
big.
Art or whatever, Pinterest and stuff. But I feel
Yeah.
like Tumblr was the first time where there was like a hub for like aesthetic pictures, fan art, fan fiction. And so it was, like, just, like, a big hub for all of those, and so I think that was, like, the first time where it was, like, there's one thing for fan culture.
I don't know, it's really interesting today watching fans have that same sort of community on Tumblr, but on other platforms because Tumblr died in, like, 2018.
Mhm.
Um, it's really interesting to see different fandoms adapt, and there's, like, fan cams on Instagram now instead of, like shipping fan videos on YouTube, like,
Mhm.
it shifted platforms, and, like, fandoms on TikTok is a big thing, like, I feel like a good chunk of Tumblr culture transferred onto TikTok,
Mhm.
and what little was left transferred onto Twitter and Instagram.
Yeah, yeah.
But so it's interesting to see the same sort of fan culture adapt as like the um, media and like websites evolve, just like they always do. Because I also feel like Tumblr came into my life around a time where I was super into Quizilla, which
Oh.
was like sort of owned by the N network. And it was a place where like user generated quizzes were a thing, like pick this, like what's your favorite color, blah, blah, blah. And it would like sometimes the quizzes would be like choose your own adventure storytelling. But
Mm.
then there was also places on the website to upload or not fan, but like user generated stories and poems and lyrics and stuff like that. So my first exposure to fan fiction was on Quizilla. So if
Nice.
anybody remembers Quizilla, please tell me. Oh my god, I feel like it was so niche, but it was like my entire thing in middle school. So then when 2011 came and I was in high school, like Quizilla had died. Like I'm pretty sure like the website was archived and like bought
Mm.
out by Nickelodeon. And so
Wait, I
people
feel
stopped
like I
doing.
was on this. I feel like
Really?
I
Yeah.
was there, yeah. Because I
Yeah.
feel like I made things on it.
Yeah, I made some stuff there too.
Yeah. I feel like I made
But
something about smackers, like, I don't know, there was something
yeah,
that's, like,
so
which
then
smackers flavor.
yeah, but I think a lot of Quizilla people also went over to Wattpad and
Mhm.
I think it's like AO3 or that website. I can't
Yeah.
remember. Um and so but for me that format wasn't as like I didn't have the same culture as Quizilla did, so I really was like I had a hole
Yeah.
of content in my heart that Tumblr like really filled and like opened up all these different avenues. Um, so I feel like specifically the Superwholock fandom was such a big part of that experience that I was
Mhm.
just like, media man, it connects people. And also just the kind of content it generated too. Like it's hard, it was just such a big, large vehicle for creativity that it's
Mhm.
like interesting to see without Tumblr how people the
Yeah.
different outlets people choose and create, you know?
Did you ever do, Gishwas?
No, but I heard about it. I also talked to Misha Collins on the phone once
Yeah, tell
because he did
everyone
that a
about
few
that.
times where he would like, I think it was for charity or something, but he would give out his phone number and like or a phone number and let fans call him and ask questions about the show or just like fun facts about life and stuff like that. And I remember me and my friend, it was during the summer of 13, at my pre-college program, we called him on the phone. Because he had like tweeted it out or something, and I wasn't on Twitter yet. So I was getting like secondhand news.
Mhm.
And we asked him like who his favorite person was or like historical figure. I don't know. He
Wow.
said Cicero and someone else. And I was like, who the fuck is Cicero? And he asked us like, oh, what's your favorite, person? I don't know, author, anything. And I think I said John Green because he was just like my favorite author at the time, very Tumblr culture.
Yeah.
Um, and then I think my friend said someone else. I
Yeah.
can't remember.
Did Misha Collins know John Green?
No, because then he was like, oh, that's interesting. I have no idea who that is. And we were like, oh, he's an author.
Knows
I bet
Cicero,
he
but
knows who
doesn't
he is
know
now,
John
though.
Green?
But also, John Green is such a nondescript name that, like, if you
That's
don't know
true.
who he is, that sounds like a random name. So it's
Mhm.
totally
I
understandable.
almost said it's kind of like Hank Green, and I was like, "Of course, they're brothers."
But since then, John Green has become super huge and
Mhm.
like so huge that people dislike him in order to be counterculture. So
And Misha Collins, to
I bet
this
he knows who
day,
he is now.
is probably, like, every single time he hears about John Green, he's like, Silvana. She broke
Wow,
that
yeah. I
dream.
wonder if he has a memory of that phone call still, just because we talked about Jeffrey.
Yeah. I
Who
don't know.
knows?
I
There's so
always
many
wanted
people.
to, I really wanted to get in, like, the record book for Gishwez. I thought that was how he was gonna notice me, and then it didn't happen. And I made, like,
Yeah.
I had to make, like, Captain Picard out of mustard,
Oh yeah.
um, and then I, like, dressed up in, like, a prom dress and stood in front of the White
Oh,
House or something with some, I think it was, like, our I made, like, our little, like, team flag or something. We were
that's
Team Soup
cute.
Snakes,
Oh,
l love something, it was, like, 10,000 ball pit, and then Blue Steel. I think that was, like, some our team name because we had, like, brought, like, 3 together.
wow.
Um, and yeah, and I don't know, it was also really weird because like, my mom, like, took me to work with her so I could go to DC and, like,
Oh.
and so I, like, went through, like, security in her office, like, wearing a prom dress, and it was the most
Oh
embarrassing
no.
moment of my life, and
I
then
would be
later that
embarrassed.
day, I had camp in DC, and we would always do, like, would you rathers during, snack time, and one of the would you rathers was, like, would you rather be overdressed or dressed? And I was, like, underdressed. I was overdressed all day.
That's so true. Underdressing is like such a power move, whereas
Mhm,
overdressing, just like, even though it's like technically the more polite thing to do is to overdress than to underdress,
mhm,
it's like so much worse. And I don't know why. But
right,
yeah, I remember like hearing about all that happening in the
mhm,
little like competitions and games and stuff. I wasn't on Twitter, so I wasn't a part of like
mhm,
that side of fandom, which was still
yeah,
like very active at the time. But I think also those fandoms were sort of my first introduction of like people making online friends and like having those friendships
mhm,
be like real and sustainable and like a huge part of people's lives, and like actually like doing stuff together too, like those competitions and like
yeah,
cool stuff like that. And I like, found those instances in other fandoms as well later on. But yeah, Tumblr was like a really big part of that.
yeah, and I
But
feel like it was, like, the first time where I felt like it wasn't a job per se, but I was like, I need to be, like,
yeah,
constant in my posting, and so, like, queue like, setting things up for your queue was, like, really big. I can't remember, I'm trying to
yeah,
find,
cues are intense. And cute tags as well are
yeah,
really
because
big.
I did once I, like, kind of got out of Supernatural, I did Love Me Q, You Know I Love You, um, but
Wow.
I think it was, like, originally, like, I'm the one who raised Q from perdition or something, I think that was mine.
That was yours? Oh my God, that's
Yeah,
crazy. Wait, maybe I just also followed you on Tumblr.
I think you probably did.
OMG. Yeah, I followed like supernatural blogs and stuff. I
And
also
I
like
remember,
followed
like,
the blogs
always
for like a long time before I actually started watching the show
right?
too.
I remember just, like, trying to learn how to do, like, HTML and stuff for Tumblr
Ooh,
and, like, learning how to
yeah,
code. Um, I still have, like, a pretty good URL.
yeah.
I was comforting Cass for a good while.
Oh wow.
Um,
Honestly, I felt like my friend in high school who introduced me to Tumblr probably also followed you as well, because I just like went through her follow list and followed people. But it is interesting. I feel like that era was also like really started the whole like content creation thing for fans, in terms of
mhm,
like people running fan pages are oftentimes like it's like a full-time job, and
yeah,
like constant content creation that like in the workforce people would get be paying like, you know, full salaries to pay someone to produce that kind of work. And like
yeah,
you had like teenage girls doing that on their own just
mhm,
out of sheer passion for something.
and I
Very
think
powerful stuff. Fangirls are totally underestimated, and also, huge stigma, which is
yeah,
unfair. But
but I think it was, like, also, like this was also the time when I was, like, in school and supposed to make my first, like, resume and stuff,
Oh, yeah.
and it was like I had all of these, like, digital media skills and,
Yeah.
like, how to engage, but I feel like a lot of people at that point didn't take it seriously, and so, like,
Yeah.
I was like, you know, like, especially, like, I was a Facebook admin to a site that had, like, 30,000 followers, and I was like, I feel like that's
Yeah.
kind of, like, something I should mention that, like, that's what I'm in charge of because it, like, was really, like, a job that I would, like, come home, see what the news was, find all the screenshots and stuff, and,
Yeah.
it
And the
really
sheer just
was,
like
like
graphic design work too
yeah,
of
and it
like
was, like,
making
really, like,
posts and
logging in hours, but then, like, my sister was like, "You can't just say that you, like, are on Facebook or, like, you have a Tumblr," and so she was like, "We'll write it as, like, um, you engage in, media content with 30,000 international,
wow.
uh, media subscribers," or something,
Yeah.
but it was just, like, I think now it's such a different thing where it's like, if you're like, "Oh, I am viral on TikTok or viral on Twitter," that carries
Yeah, it
weight.
carries more weight, at least in like the media and marketing
Mhm,
industries. Because also like you have these like huge, six-figure salaried marketing executives who like don't even know how to do their job when like
mhm,
entire films and fandoms and TV shows are like getting brought back to life surely because like a fan cam on Instagram or TikTok
mhm,
like went viral, And it's like usually women or like non-men and it's
mhm,
usually teenagers who are like creating these cultural moments.
yeah.
Pretty intense. And
No,
also, I just feel like it's something that's underappreciated, even though it's slowly like it is slowly becoming more validated within industries. I still don't know how to put it on a resume, but like there are full-time jobs now that it's like it's someone's full-time job to like run the company's TikTok account or like
mhm,
run their Twitter account, stuff like that. It is like slowly they're like we should pay these people. It
right,
is a skill. Because like companies, can crash and burn without a good media presence.
mhm,
But yeah, back then I feel like it was still like very grassroots.
mhm, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but I
Well
definitely I feel like before Tumblr in 2011, like my main channel of like fandoms and like getting content about things that I loved was YouTube. And so I'd
mhm,
watch like I was really into Twilight, so I watched cast interviews and like behind the scenes before the movies came out, or like I really liked Paramore and they'd post like tour diaries and like backstage, filming, hanging out with their friends. Like they'd post random videos like that on YouTube.
yeah,
And so that was how I was like ingesting a lot of my content and like finding music videos on YouTube or finding like YouTubers. Like I found the Vlog Brothers in like 2008 and stuff like that.
mhm,
And so that was like my main content platform where
yeah.
I would ingest a lot of stuff. And then suddenly I like go to high school and like Tumblr is like eclipses
Yeah, I just, like
my life with like that being the main channel of just like because it opened the doors to like so many different kinds of like content and like
yeah.
media types.
I just think it's, like it's so weird because, like, when I think of the YouTube things that went viral in, like, fandom culture, like, I'm thinking, like, Potter Puppet Pals,
Yeah,
a
that was
very Potter
huge.
musical and stuff, and
Also, if
then
anybody else watched the Alan and Craig show, please reach
oh,
out to me. Oh my god, I feel like it's so niche, but it was like so huge when I was part of it. Oh
oh,
my god, when I watched
interesting.
those videos. Alan
Um,
and Craig show. Oh my god. Evil Iguana, because they made like a Twilight spoof, and that's how I found
oh,
them.
interesting. I
But
will
yeah,
look that up.
continue.
But I feel like with, like, Twitter and TikTok now, it's like anyone who's, like, very viral and very successful are influencers, and I think you
Yeah,
had that kind of thing on Tumblr as well, like, you had those people that everyone followed, but I feel like
yeah,
Tumblr was just, like, you don't talk about it in public, and so it's just,
yeah.
like,
It
so
was so much
crazy.
more anonymous than any
Mhm,
other platform,
and
but it
I
was also like there were definitely like Tumblr famous people.
mhm,
Um, and like sometimes they would like link to YouTube videos, and I like
yeah,
know YouTubers who started on Tumblr, but um there were other platforms that quickly realized they needed an avenue to monetize that
Mhm.
fan like audience capacity. And there has never and will never be a way to make money off Tumblr or
Right.
on Tumblr. It is impossible.
But I think it's just funny how much I think, like, Tumblr people who got really famous were not necessarily called influencers, and,
Yeah.
but I feel like it's, like, there are people that just, like, walk among us that were once, like, Tumblr famous,
I mean,
and
you're
it just
one of
doesn't.
them.
No, I got, like, 300 or something. I feel like that's, like, the, like, largest. I don't know, I haven't checked,
Oh,
but, um but it's like there are people who walk among us who are, like, the most followed Tumblr accounts,
you'll never
and
know.
you'll never know. It's such a weird thing because I think,
It is weird.
like, since it maybe was so, like, fandom and, like, content oriented, it wasn't like, "This is my personality as well," or you would get that, like, only in the tags or something. And so
Yeah.
I feel like there wasn't as much of, like, the influencer persona of, like, "This is my brand," because it's more like, "I'm gonna talk about this other brand," or something like
Yeah.
that.
Well, because also I feel like in terms of expressing yourself or like sharing your life online, and I don't know if it is like a platform blog like format thing or if it's just like the nature of the culture that was there. But like if someone like vlogged about their life on YouTube, even like back in 2010 or when it was, so different from how it is nowadays, like it was like a very different, they still like curated it a little bit. And
Mhm.
Tumblr was curated to a certain extent, but like people would get like so intense and like deep and weird on Tumblr like blog posts.
Yeah,
Like you didn't want your face attached to that. You weren't like
exactly.
people did post photos and like aesthetic stuff, but they weren't like talking about like how they made their coffee and then been like, this is all of my like weird trauma. And like people would fight on Tumblr and
Yeah,
people would rather do that anonymously. Like there
yeah.
wasn't the same, like no one wanted people to find their Tumblr blog, you
Mhm.
know?
Exactly. Yeah,
But
interesting.
yeah. Whereas like in other platforms, like if they want to build a following, they like want that notoriety because also then they get paid,
Exactly.
you know?
Exactly.
And like people would like share their names. Like people on Tumblr sometimes wouldn't even share their names.
Right? Or they would
They'd
just
just be
do,
the
like,
username.
their, like, Myers-Briggs, and that was, like, the only
Uh,
identification.
yeah. But yeah, it's like bittersweet to see that platform die, but it's
Yeah.
also like it was such a sign of the times that it's like it wouldn't be the same if it did adapt and change with modern day
Mhm.
social media. So it's like I kind of like it to be sort of like a monument to that time. I still have a Tumblr. I still go on Tumblr and like reblog stuff, but
Really?
it is very different. And also like the people who are still on Tumblr like changed. Like
Mm,
the accounts I used to follow and like see active all the time, like they're not there anymore. So it is like
interesting.
different, but it
Yeah,
is
I'm
like a
like
sort of there's a culture of like New Yorkers who stayed during the
oh,
pandemic,
yeah,
like it's different, like they have like they're very like I was someone who stayed, like I feel that way. It's very different. I'm not trying to make light of the pandemic, but I'm very much like I was one of the people who stayed on Tumblr after it died. Like it is like I stuck it out. I'm still faithful. I still love Tumblr. There's still good accounts on there,
mhm,
but yeah. And also just like people got older, so the people who are on Tumblr aren't necessarily now on TikTok, even though there is overlap.
yeah,
Like I would say like the older millennials who are on Tumblr aren't on TikTok and like aren't super active on the other socials.
yeah, yeah. I'm seeing, like, my old
Like
bio.
Halsey was Tumblr famous.
Oh, really?
Yeah, before she got her record deal. But
Interesting. Yeah, I'm seeing mine. I was Marriya, 19, part-time sleeper, full-time dreamer. I reblog anything and
oh my god,
everything. Here
I
you'll
never
find
had a bio.
Supernatural, Harry Potter, Percy Jackson, Marvel, Hunger Games, Divergent, Once Upon a Time, The Fault in Our Stars, The Mortal Instruments. I don't think I ever reblogged anything Mortal Instruments, and much
Well,
more. I'm always here if you need to talk. Carry on, my wayward son.
aw. Yeah, life, man. But it was also, I feel like in terms of fandom culture, being like an intense fan of something, people sort of make fun of you for that in
Mhm.
public, at school, or whatever. So I feel like the other platforms are more friendly towards people who are like they have interests, but they're like casual interests,
Yeah, yeah.
They're not fanatics, but I don't consider myself a fanatic, but I'm like, if I love something, I love it all the way,
Mhm.
I don't half-ass things.
Right.
I'm a very all or nothing kind of gal, one and done. But those were all references to multiple TV
Oh,
shows.
it's
So
great.
figure that.
Yeah, I think just, like, Tumblr was just, like it was also, like I don't know, I think I, like, read a lot of fan fiction, and it was, like, I had, um like, I read it on my phone, like, before class, and it was, like, a thing that you just, like,
Aw.
kind of cover up
Oh
and
yeah.
stuff. I don't know, it was just very strange.
Yeah, because there was
Um
something that bonded me to like my friends who were also on Tumblr, but
Mhm.
was also something that it's like it separated me from the people in school who like I knew didn't have Tumblr accounts,
Mhm.
Because also that aesthetic, no matter what side of Tumblr you were on, like I feel like people would back then at least were able to identify me as like a Tumblr type person.
Yeah. Well, there was, like, that thing where it was, like, if you saw someone else in public, then you say, like, something about the president's shoelaces,
Oh
and
my
that
God,
was how you
there were a
figure
few
out
different times where they were like phrases or sort of like shibboleth type
Mhm.
things or memes or phrases that would be like we're like comrade, I see you,
Mhm.
you see me.
Yeah.
But it's sad because I feel like on certain parts of TikTok there, because of the algorithm, niches are allowed to like thrive and
Mhm.
also thrive separate from other places on TikTok. But I feel like other social media platforms are just so huge that you sort of like lose that smaller community cultural type
Mhm.
things. Like no one's going to be like, "Oh my god, are you on Instagram too? What's your plan?"
Well, I think it's
Cuz
also,
everybody's
like
on Instagram.
it's weird because I mean, obviously, there was original content on Tumblr, but, like, a lot of the culture was reblogging, and, like, there is
Yeah.
retweeting and stuff, but I think that there's been, like, such a push to, like, original content on everything, like, you should be writing your own tweets, you should be making your own
Yeah.
TikTok videos, you should be doing your own Instagram feed, but I think that same culture of, like, going viral with your own content and then just, like, reblogging everything, and that's, like, how you stay active isn't a
Yeah.
thing
Cuz
anymore.
also like because I didn't create content, like there was definitely like people would follow me because of like it was curation, like
Mhm,
I had a curated style, aesthetic and accumulation of fandoms and media stuff that I was a fan of and would
mhm,
reblog. And because people liked that curation style, they followed my blog.
mhm.
And like I would follow other people like that too. Um, and I feel like there's a big difference between like fan content and original content.
Yeah,
And there are different nuances to that. And so I don't know, it is very interesting. Yeah, I
yeah,
never like really made things. I never
yeah,
made fan content or original content on Tumblr. But yeah, there are like nuances to that. And I feel like on TikTok, they're like, and on Instagram too, like the video format stuff, there's, I guess pictures too on Instagram, but there's like some, content that's made of other media and like it's
mhm,
fan content. But most content is, I feel like, original content, or
yeah,
at least like the viral stuff, the like TikTok famous people, like they're making original content.
yeah.
Like, I don't think there's like a TikTok famous person that's just like, oh, they make the best fan cams and like that, and they vlog about their life, Like
Well, it's,
it's
like, also,
there's
like,
a
if you
separation.
want to repost something on TikTok, it's, like, you have to, like, duet it or, um
Yeah.
and so it's, like, you always have to add something in the way that, like, I hated when people added something on Tumblr and it was just, like,
Yeah.
LOL. I was, like, "You just ruined everything."
Yeah. But
Like, do that
yeah.
in the tags.
Yeah,
Shut up.
because also I feel like there was able to like people would reblog just conversations on Tumblr, and I
Mhm,
feel like I guess duetting is sort of the same version of that, but
mhm.
there is no real way to thrive on like YouTube or Instagram on or TikTok as a person without like showing your face. Whereas
Yeah,
like you could be Tumblr famous without ever showing your face.
yeah.
So it is a more like a physical appearance type
Exactly, yeah.
social media society we're in now. But
Yeah, I think the influencer
yeah, and
thing
also
is no
just
longer, yeah.
privacy and safety like is way more, you have to be way more um careful about it, and you have to pay
Mhm.
attention to like aware about it now.
Yeah. Well, I think
Whereas
it's
like
like
people definitely like just like word vomit all their emotions onto Tumblr, and
mhm.
like there'd be really no consequences to that because you really never, there's no real life tracking someone. I guess,
Yeah.
there were always like some safety exceptions and stuff like that, but like I don't know, like if someone's Instagram famous, like there are people that will be like, watching your location tags and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And it can get scary, but on Tumblr, it always had that safe space
Yeah.
aura,
Well, I
you
feel like
know?
it was also, like, in this early days of, like, our generation doing social media, and it was, like, our parents were constantly talking to us about, like, don't make friends online and stuff, and, like, Tumblr was, like, our way of kind of doing that safely and then also, like, not telling them about it. But now I think
Yeah.
it's, like, social media and, like, talking to people on the internet has been, like, more normalized, and so I feel like
Yeah.
we are sharing a lot more things than we would because I think
That's true. There's also like an expectation to share
mhm.
certain stuff. And if like you're not on social media, like that's weird now, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
But in terms of like fan culture, there's definitely like, creating fan content or like being like really interested in like a special interest of like media or something was always sort of like ridiculed in the past. So
Mhm.
like I feel like there's a space where people could be like unabashedly obsessed with something, super interested in something, and be able to share that with someone without like that layer of shame or like
Mhm.
you can't tell people that I'm like weird or whatever. Like there was no pretense of that,
Yeah.
which I think was like a really nice thing to have on the internet.
Mhm.
And then I feel like nowadays it's just like less ridicule to be a fan of something.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. Because there's like stereotypical like 80s stereotype of like, a nerd being obsessed with Star Wars and like it's like not cool to like a movie.
Yeah.
But
Like
now
that
Star Wars is
70s
huge,
show, yeah.
so yeah, yeah. Which is also interesting because I feel like Marvel is such a huge, and it's been around for so long. I think it was started in 2011, like the
Mhm.
Avengers and like Marvel
The
movies and
MCU,
stuff.
yeah.
That's so huge, and it's interesting to see that fandom exist and thrive in such a huge way
Mhm.
when it's like its home base isn't Tumblr. Like I feel like
Yeah.
Superwholock, like its home base was Tumblr, even though you had other platforms like Twitter, YouTube, or like
Mhm.
fanfiction.net. Like Tumblr was the motherland. And does the Marvel fandom like have a motherland? Do you feel like is most fan content being made on like Instagram or TikTok now? Like I feel like you're
Um,
properly like interested in Marvel movies.
mhm.
Would you consider yourself in that fandom the same way you were in Super Hulock?
Um, I don't think it was, like, as big. It was definitely, like, on Tumblr, but I don't think it was as huge. Like, I think the only time where I would see it, like, very, very widespread is, like, that GIF where it's like, "I understood that reference." That was, like, the big one, but
Oh
I don't think it was
yeah.
it was, like
I saw that. I think that was the only movie for Marvel I've seen and I saw it in theaters and I laughed at that joke. I like
but
I
I
like
think,
Captain America.
like I think that Marvel is more like definitely think with the TV shows, TikTok became the real place where everyone was talking, like,
Mm.
about different
Well,
theories.
cuz yeah,
Um,
theories is such a big thing now
I
too.
think that's, like, Reddit. I would say Reddit is
Reddit.
one of the big
Okay.
places, yeah.
That's interesting. Cuz I feel like fan theories for me was like a big Tumblr thing.
Mhm.
And also I feel like anonymously asking questions on Tumblr was like such a huge thing. I
Yeah.
feel like that specific format has never been recreated. There's
Mhm.
like questions on Instagram, but it's like not super anonymous. Um, and like you're asking it's usually asking a specific person about their lives, not about
Mhm.
their opinion on a piece of media. So
Yeah.
yeah, life
Yeah.
man.
Miss
I
it.
still love Tumblr though. We'll
I
see
should
if
go
it ever
back on
truly
it.
dies, but I don't think any platform since the 2010s has like died in the way that MySpace has died, like
Mhm.
or like Friendster died. Like you literally cannot log
Oh.
on. And like MySpace deleted so much of its
Oh, wow.
content by accident that like it's physically unusable now.
Yeah.
Whereas
I
I
mean,
feel
they're like
like now like things aren't popular and there are waves of popularity, but like they're not truly like I still log on to Tumblr. Like I log on to Club Penguin, you know.
I mean,
I
I
saw
feel
a soccer mommy concert on Club Penguin. That was cool. But yeah.
oh, wow. Interesting.
Hmm.
But I feel like also, like, Tumblr had that moment that I thought it was gonna die where there was, like, all that child pornography
Hmm.
stuff, and it was, like, pulled from App Store or something.
Yeah,
I
having it
don't know
get
what
pulled from
happened.
the App Store was a big moment, though, that it
Mhm.
like really declined in use.
Mhm.
But then I think its censorship algorithm was like so intense that like a lot of communities died that like
Yeah.
it really never really recovered.
Mhm.
But it's nice that people nowadays on TikTok associate Tumblr with the year like 2014 and like
Mhm.
a specific 1975 aesthetic when like I feel like there was like one portion of Tumblr,
Yeah.
but they still it's like it's interesting. It's nice that I can feel like dated, like I feel a kinship to that time
Right.
period.
And I think it's just always so weird when I see something on Twitter that's, like, a Tumblr screenshot. It's like, "Oh, yeah, I remember
Mm,
that when it was, like,
yeah.
on that
And it's also
platform."
interesting, like I feel like because Tumblr was invented at a certain time, a lot of its users were at a certain age during that
Mhm.
specific time as well. And so people on the internet go through those same stages that people on Tumblr did. So it's like the people who are that age that we were on Tumblr during like 2011 to 13 or 14 or
Right.
whatever, they're going through those same schools of thought,
Mhm.
but just on different platforms again, like on
Yeah.
Twitter and on TikTok. So
Yeah.
it's interesting to see like people having like the same exact discourse. And I'm just like, we've been through
We
this. I don't
settled
need to be a part of this. Like,
but
this was
I
10
feel
years
like
ago.
it's so funny, like, when I see things from Tumblr on, like, Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, because I just still feel like that time where it's like we don't talk about it outside, and so I always feel like, "Oh, someone leaked it." Like,
Yeah.
someone from the inside leaked it.
Yeah. It's like sort of not the same, but I found like one or two TikTok accounts that were like, this was like my secret TikTok account that I like didn't tell anybody about. And I have like a one that I tell my friends about. And then they like get TikTok famous on their private like secret
Oh, yeah.
account. And they're like, oh shit. Now it's like showing up on the For You page of like people I know.
It would have
And it's
taken
like
Hannah
sort of the
Montana
same.
out like that.
Right? Oh my God. But so I feel like there's like shades of Tumblr on
Mhm.
like other things. It's
It
definitely
definitely
like it had its like proliferation of like affecting culture and masses a little
Mhm.
bit, even if
Yeah.
not everybody was a part of it. But yeah, I feel like on that note,
Thank you for listening. That was spooky.
that was our little episode. I feel like that was a really rich topic.
Yeah. We're gonna
So
have a part 2,
yeah,
so
where
stay
we'll
tuned.
talk about slightly we'll talk about supernatural, but like
Mhm.
in a slightly different way.
And I might
Dot
take
dot
my
dot.
flannel off. Ooh.
Oh my god. But yeah, thanks for listening. And tune in for part 2 next week.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yay.